Yeah, hi there. These comments are for one of my online students of the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm Michael Buckoff, and I'm looking at your integrated writing. So you'll see on the right screen, this is what you wrote. Right? Now on the left part of the screen, we have the reading passage along with the lecture here. Right? So what I want to do is give you a score. So I looked at what you wrote, and if we look at the rubrics here, I'm going to put you at 3.0 out of 5, or 20 points out of 30 on this practice test. Mainly, when we look at this, you have maybe an incomplete, I think, connection of the ideas in the lecture to the ideas in the reading passage. So you can probably develop your ideas a little bit more. So that's kind of what we want to look at. So I'm going to say here 3.0 out of 5, or we'll say maybe around 20 out of 30 points here. You see that? Now the question also is, what is your grade on this practice test? So here we go. So you look at the writing rubrics here. If you go to the syllabus, you see this? I'm at page 9 in the syllabus. So you scored 3.0. This is going to put you at about 76% on this writing project. Now let's go ahead and take a word count on this. So we have 151 words, or 142 words in the selection. And the question is, how do you take what you wrote? How do you get a perfect score on this? So we'll say this is the edited version of your essay. This one's going to be 5.5 out of 5. So you definitely want to watch this video, because the main thing is, a lot of students don't understand why they get the score they get. I'm actually going to demonstrate by rewriting your essay, showing you what you can do to strengthen the writing. Now first of all, this first sentence here is a little bit redundant, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. So we'll say here, so the listening passage talked about the benefits of credit cards. We'll say, and the speaker Now you could say, and the lecture disagrees with those points. I'm just trying to be creative here. Okay, so I think we have the listening passage talks about the benefits of credit cards, and the speaker thinks that credit cards do more harm than good. Right? So now, let's go ahead and do a quick spell check. Look how easy that is, right? Make sure when you're writing papers in your writing class, you're always spell checking your documents. How easy is that? I want to find this word, change. We got it. There we go. So now we just corrected all the spelling that we need to correct here. So first, the article claims, make sure you have subject-verb agreement here. The article claims that credit cards make it easier to buy items such as you might say airplane tickets. So using stuff, you might say hotel, reservations. Remember, what you're trying to do here is to show you have some good vocabulary. If you use a word like stuff, that's not really showing you have a range of vocabulary. So I'm taking some of these ideas and restating them. So instead of saying airlines, I'm saying airplane tickets. Instead of hotels, I'm saying hotel reservations. And then we'll say, and so on. Okay, let's take a look. We should probably say here, I want to say, in addition, so now I think we have a little bit better sentence here. So I'm just trying to expand your ideas a little bit more. Remember how many words that you wrote, right? So the article claims that credit cards make it easier to buy items such as airplane tickets, hotel reservations, and so on. In addition, credit cards are more convenient according to the author because consumers do not have to worry about having to carry a lot of cash with them when they shop. On the other hand, the speaker claims. Okay, so now we have to look at the next idea. So we have in the first point in the listening passage says this: credit cards do make it easier to purchase things, but it's easier to blow your budget while using them. See what you said. Okay, so I think you're in pretty good shape here. So you have the speaker claims that credit cards can lead to unnecessary spending. You might say here, for example, the article points, you want to say points out that credit cards make it easier to buy stuff that are expensive. So it's saying here it makes it easier to purchase things, but it's easier to blow your budget while using them. See, that's the key idea you're not really getting. That's the idea. I think you probably want to mention that right away up here. I want to say cause consumers to spend more money than they have. I think that's probably what you want to say there, and that more accurately explains what the key point is in that first paragraph of the lecture. Then we have, for example, the article points out that credit cards make it easier to buy stuff. To buy, how about not stuff again, to buy expensive items. The speaker suggests that credit cards tempt people to buy products even if they don't have the money to buy it. So that's pretty good. So that's a pretty well developed paragraph there. So I think we can move on. Alright, let's take a look at the next idea. So we'll go back to the reading passage. So you have another advantage of having a credit card is they help consumers build a credit line. So you say second, the article mentions that credit cards help to build, they help, and you have okay, let's take a look. So can help. Using here consumers. How about users? We'll just say users. Help users. Actually, I'm not the right word order here, so let's put this. It can help users to build a credit line. But then you're not saying everything here. It's saying that so I think you should probably say a little bit more here. So you might say which can be useful when, we'll say when someone does, what will we say here? When someone maybe applies for, maybe we'll say a loan. So someone applies for a loan, you might say, or we could put, or when they need to rent, maybe, or buy a house. So you might put that in there, just as a, just kind of developing your ideas a little bit more. So when you're explaining somebody's ideas, you want to go beyond just explaining the main point of what they're saying. You probably want to go into some of the supporting details, some of the information that kind of connects back to that. I think that would probably be useful there. So it says, the article mentions that credit cards help users to build credit lines, which can be useful when someone applies for or maybe we'll say when these consumers, when these consumers apply for loans or when they need to rent or buy a house. Okay, that's pretty good. So we're getting started with it. Alright, let's take a look at the second point in the lecture. It says, in contrast, the speaker says reckless spending can lead to bad credit. Yeah, I think you have more or less, and something else I'd like you to say. So if you want to buy a house or a car and you've been financially responsible with your credit cards, the banks might deny you loans on houses or cars because of the damaged credit. Then you might want to say, so the lecture says that reckless spending can lead to bad credit. As a result, if consumers do not pay the interest you might say maybe do not make a payment if consumers do not make a payment on the interest or the balance you might say here so as a result, if consumers do not make a payment on the interest or the balance maybe if consumers maybe, how about miss, this is even better, miss or make a late payment on the interest or the balance of their credit cards, they will receive or they will get damaged credit. Then maybe hence making it harder to get maybe car or home loans, you might say, from banks. Okay, so we have it. So you see what I'm saying? So I have to develop the ideas that you have. You have a good understanding, I think, of the reading and the listening passage, but you're not completely explaining the ideas with the development that's expected with this kind of task. Alright, let's read it one more time. So the article mentions that credit cards help users to build credit lines, which can be useful when these consumers apply for loans or when they need to rent or buy homes. In contrast, the speaker says that reckless spending can lead to bad credit. As a result, if consumers miss or make, maybe put here, late payments on the interest or balance of their credit cards, they will get damaged credit. Then maybe put a comma here, hence making it harder to get car or home loans from banks. There. So we have developed this point, I think, sufficiently. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So we're going to reading point number 3. It says, credit cards offer you protection when you purchase new products. You see the article mentions that credit cards, or you're saying the article mentions credit cards offer protection when buying new stuff. So how about instead of stuff, maybe items. I know what you're doing. You're trying to paraphrase ideas. And then you might say here, in addition, he or she can get You might say credit card companies. So I think we have, if someone buys a product that is defective, or maybe we can say, yeah, a product is defective, lost, or stolen, he or she can get protection from credit card companies since these companies typically keep the receipts for these purchases. Okay, see, so we're just trying to develop a little bit more on this one. She said, however, the speaker believes that it can lead to bankruptcy due to, you want to say, not duty, due to high interest rates. Okay, let's just double check that one. Yeah, I like that you didn't say too much about this, but the one thing you didn't say, it can lead to bankruptcy. I would probably say something like this: believes that even though credit card companies do offer protection regarding the purchase of new items, these companies do not protect consumers from the high interest rates on these credit cards. That's probably what you need to say there. I think that's important. So you talked about bankruptcy. It says they do not protect you from an enormous amount of interest in each balance that you don't pay off at the end of each month. That's how they make their money. And this is how most people in the United States get into debt and even bankruptcy, which is true. Then you want to say maybe therefore, according to the lecture, credit cards may cause some people to get, or how about may force, probably better, force some people into debt and maybe even bankruptcy. To the high interest rates let's say on their cards. I think we have it. Okay, so now what you want to do now is kind of look at what is the difference between what I wrote and what you wrote. So again, we go here and we see here approximately 142 words. So then I told you that you scored around 3.0 out of 5 because you left out, I think, some important information either from the reading passage or the lecture. Now we look at the word count here and we've gone up to about 318 words. So I'm kind of doubling, I'm just about doubling the number of words that you had in your original essay. So this shows that we have a good understanding, I think, of the main points from the reading and the listening passage. Okay, let's take a look at it one more time. So the listening passage talks about the benefits of credit cards, and the speaker thinks that credit cards do more harm than good. First, the article claims that credit cards make it easier to buy items such as airplane tickets, hotel reservations, and so on. In addition, credit cards are more convenient, according to the author, because consumers do not worry about having to carry a lot of cash with them when they shop. On the other hand, the speaker claims that credit cards can cause consumers to spend more money than they have. For example, the article points out that credit cards make it easier to buy expensive items. The speaker suggests that credit cards tempt people to buy products even if they do not have the money to buy them. Second, the article mentions that credit cards help users to build credit lines, which can be useful when these consumers apply for loans or when they need to rent or buy houses. In contrast, the speaker says that reckless spending can lead to bad credit. As a result, if consumers miss or make late payments on the interest or the balance of their credit cards, they will get damaged credit, hence making it harder to get car or home loans from banks. Third, the article mentions, maybe put the noun clause connector in here, that credit cards offer protection when buying new items. In addition, if someone buys a product that is defective, lost, or stolen, he or she can get protection from credit card companies, since these companies typically keep the receipts for these purchases. However, the speaker believes that even though credit card companies do offer protection regarding the purchase of new items, these companies do not protect consumers from the high interest rates on these credit cards. Therefore, according to the lecture, credit card companies may force some people into debt and maybe even bankruptcy due to the high interest rates on their cards. To sum up, the lecture clearly cast doubt on the advantages credit cards mentioned in the reading passage. That's all I will say. How easy is that for a conclusion? So the conclusion and the intro isn't that important. It's what you do in those body paragraphs of the integrated writing task that really, I think, makes a difference.